Dragonites. How is everybody doing? Is everybody having a fantastic weekend? I hope so. Here we are at a WIP and chat number, are we on 3, you guys? Oh my gosh, you'd think I'd remember. I'm just gonna double check. I don't want to throw anybody off. Just in case, you know, you're paying attention along with me. I don't want to mess anybody up. So as it turns out, let's see. We are on, let's see. Hang on, Dragonites. We're almost there. Hang on. Okay, I think we are on WIP and chat number 3. That seems to be about right. So we'll go with that. Okay. I hope that everybody is having a good weekend and nobody's melting out there in this horrific heat. Not being a heat person, you can imagine, this is not my thing at all. So I'm staying in my house as a recluse and just enjoying my AC because enough's enough of this heat. All right. So you guys, it's exciting. All I have left is just what's left over in this little panel, which is not very much. So hoping that I'm going to actually finish it while we're having our conversation, because that would be sort of cool, wouldn't it? Yeah, it would be very cool. You guys would be the first ones to see that, hey, I finished it. So that would be kind of neat. I know several of you have finished it. I've seen several of them. Several of you have sent them to me. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. So yeah. So that's exciting. I hope you guys took a look at the prizes, the sneak peek of the prizes. That video is up and running. Also, the video on the Hobby Lobby haul, because you saw some of the prizes that are going to be given there too. So you have a pretty good idea of what's coming. I hope that you guys really like it. Next month we're going to be doing the Zodiac event. If you have not signed up for the Zodiac event and you would like to, I'm going to extend it just through this weekend. So, I mean, technically the cutoff is tomorrow. So, but maybe I'll extend it through Monday. So if you want to sign up, go ahead and get signed up. I can tell you, if you're not sure if you signed up, I can tell you who is signed up officially for the Zodiac event. Missy Nelson, Sugar Ray Crafts, Sedona LeBlanc, Mike Weeks, Diamond Art Joy, Kathy Reynolds, Trisha Richard, Crafty Chef Diamond, Jedi Master, Jennifer Parker, Kayla Zuniga, Tansy Wolf, Crafting Crazy Cat Lady, and Neil Porter. So there you go. So that's who I have down at the moment. So if you would like to be on that list or thought you were and you are not, let me know in the comment section and I will add you. I'm a little behind getting back to you guys that are already in the comment section. Please be patient with me. Life's been a little bit crazed, so it's going to take me a little bit to get out from under it so that I can just spend some time in the comment section. I am reading them. I just haven't had a chance to get back to you yet. So that's what's happening. So please get signed up for the Zodiac event if you would like to participate. Any canvas that's a 30 by 30 or larger that has anything to do with the Zodiac, and that can be the American Zodiac or it can be the Chinese Zodiac, please, please, please sign up. We would love to have you join us. So we are going to be doing gift cards for the Zodiac event, so we'll see how we feel about that. When it's finished, we have a couple of months, thank God, before we go into Pixies, Fairies, and Gnomes Oh My, so, which will be in November. So we're going to have an opportunity to talk a little bit about it and see how you feel about it. I'll probably put a poll out so you guys can just click one or the other and we will talk about it. So going forward after this month, if you are going to be, continuing to join events from my channel, if we're going to have prizes, which I'm perfectly happy to provide to you guys, then I'm going to need assistance with postage because it's out of control now. And I mean, I usually send the medium size, the rectangular flat rate box, which are now $26.50 a piece. So with 2 of you, it's over $50 for me for postage every event. So I can't continue to do that. It wouldn't be practical for my budget. So if you want to participate, if you want to make it so if you are a winner, if you want to contribute, then great. I'm happy to continue to provide postage for your prizes to go out. If you guys would rather say, the heck with it and send me any, and a gift card, I'm okay with that. That's fine too. I'm going to leave it up to you guys to let me know how you want to proceed. Okay, now I think that's all the housekeeping. So today we're going to talk about 2 dragons of legend. One is Kilgarrah. He's the dragon that is part of the Merlin franchise. And also Saphira. She is the dragon bonded with Eragon. I have a little bit more information on Saphira, but she's much more involved. So, and her story and Eragon's story is part of a great big, much bigger story about stuff. So we're only going to touch a part of it because, I don't want to talk to you guys about stuff that you're not interested in. It's just getting too involved and too hairy and too many people you don't know and all of that. So we're just going to go over it, just a little bit of it, figure like a chapter of it, and we're not going to go through the whole entire thing after that. I do recommend that you watch the movie Eragon if you haven't seen it. Saphira is voiced by Rachel Weisz, who I really like as an actress. So if you haven't had an opportunity, definitely watch that because it's pretty cool. Okay. Whew. So I think that is the information that you needed to know before we got started. If we get through all of that early, before the hour is up, we'll just talk, updates and see what everybody's been up to. I'm really excited that I'm almost finished with this canvas. It's been such fun to work on. It's really pretty. What I have not liked about it though, and I don't know why this seems to be a thing with some of Dreamers Designs canvases. I really don't understand why or what the reasoning is, but a couple of the symbols, especially the symbols, it seems to be the symbols that have a red background, are really blurry. I don't know why, and I don't know why the rest are fine and only some of them are blurry. I don't know if it's the red ink. I don't know, but that was very frustrating. And the drills have been pretty good. I've really liked them. I've had some popping drills though, so that's been a little bit frustrating also. But by and large, I really have enjoyed this canvas. The colors have been so much fun. Oh my gosh. Give me this rainbow colorful stuff anytime because, wow. So, yeah, so that's what's happening. So I'm hoping that this will be finished today. If not today, by the end of the weekend, it's absolutely going to be finished. So that's nice. I'll have a few days to work on WIPs or, do other filming or, whichever. So that's the goal. I'm just getting some drills out here that are going to be the colors I'm going to be using so I don't have to keep going clunkety clunk 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 back and forth and back and forth. So that's what's happening over here. What else is happening? I think that's most of what's going on. I mean, it's, still trying to get my thoughts together. It's been a week, guys. I'm not kidding you. It really, really has been a week. But other than that, things are getting finished. I just feel like I'm behind all the time. I cannot get, through whatever I have to get through on a daily, and then I end up that much further behind when I don't want to be. Oh, you know how it goes, you guys. So that's the situation. I hope that you guys have been enjoying this dragon event. It's been a lot of fun to work on these canvases and see all the work you guys are doing. It's really cool, and I love it. So thank you for joining and being a part of the event. I I did want to let you know. Now, I realize that this has been a lot, having 3 events back to back. I wasn't planning on this dragon event, so I planned that I was going to have a break in between doing Purple Haze and then doing the Zodiac. Well, it turned out that we added it, so didn't really have a chance to get a break. So I know it's been a lot, but each event has got less and less people in it. So I don't know what that's about. I don't know if you guys just need a break. I don't know if it's overwhelming back to back. I don't know. So we're not going to do this again. I'm not going to do them back to back to back like this. So next year, as you probably know, if you've been on the Facebook page, I know you've seen it. You probably heard me talk about it, but we're going to be doing, I have 4 events that are planned. January, we're going to do Here Be Dragons. So you have all a Christmas holiday to pick your canvas. April is going to be our next event, and that's going to be Women Warriors. And then I think is it August? I think it's August. Or it might be July. Anyway, and then we're going to have one in the summer, and then we're going to have one in the late fall, early winter. And that's all that's planned. So if this feels like too much for you guys, let me know in the comment section. If you're like, you know, I couldn't do 3 back to back, it was just too much for me. Okay, let me know. I know that there are some of you who feel very strongly that you want to try to complete a canvas because you don't want to have multiple WIPs. I understand that. So if that's part of the issue, then, you know, let me know if that's, you know, causing you some grief, because having these events is not meant to cause you grief. That's sort of the antithesis of why we're having the events. So let me know if that becomes a thing, because I'm just curious. I'm doing some demographic type research. I just want to find out, why are things dwindling, right? I find it interesting, like last year, well, the first year that I did the Change of Seasons event, there were 62 people. Now we have 16. So I'm trying to figure out where I lost you guys. So help me out. Let me know in the comment section what your hypothesis is, or why you specifically have not continued to join, because I would just like to know. Maybe I only need to do 2 events a year. I mean, maybe that's what it is. I don't know. You tell me. Okay. So we are going to talk about Kilgarrah first. Now I think I remember I told you guys that, you know, he is the dragon in the Merlin franchise who Arthur's father, Uther Pendragon, out of sorrow and tragedy, he lost his wife because they tried magical means to have a child because they hadn't been able to conceive, and she ended up dying. So he was very put off by magic. As far as he was concerned, magic is the absolute enemy of the state, and shut it all down. Well, in the meantime, Kilgarrah was the only dragon left of his kind as far as he knows. So he basically imprisoned him in like a big cave system below the castle grounds. So that's where Merlin met Kilgarrah, because Merlin is a dragon rider, and therefore Kilgarrah was compelled to help him and talk with him and mentor him and, you know, go through the ropes with him, kind of thing. So that is where we find ourselves. So I found just like a brief little part on him and then bigger stats on him. So we're, you know, you're going to hear a little bit of repetitiveness, but that's because I'm taking it from 2 different sources. But I wanted to give you guys a good picture. Okay. Speaking of picture, so if you want to look at your screens, those of you using this as a podcast, here is Kilgarrah talking to Merlin. There they are. So this is who we're talking about first. Okay. Okay. So carry on and I will get started here. All right. Kilgarrah, better known as the Great Dragon from the BBC series Merlin, is an ancient prophetic beast. He is voiced by the actor John Hurt. He acts as Merlin's mentor and spiritual brother. Here are his core statistics and character details. His general information. Species, he is a great dragon. Lifespan, over 1,000 years. Habitat, he's imprisoned in a cave beneath Camelot. He later roams freely. Status, the last of his kind until the hatching of Aethusa, which, if you are familiar with the series, is such a heartbreaking occurrence. It's just really, it was, so I'm not even going to go over it because it was just, such a heartbreaking thing. So, anyway, okay. His physical attributes are, he is approximately 9 meters long. I'm sorry, height. He's 9 meters in height. He's 100 feet or 30 meters long. His weight is he's over 1,000 tons, which is a lot of dragon. You gotta remember that for sure. Okay, his appearance is he has a massive muscular body, reddish brown scales, capable of deflecting weapons, and white belly scales. Okay. His powers and abilities. Fire breath. Can project both red and blue flames and can even magically enchant weapons like Excalibur. Magic immunity. Almost entirely resistant to standard magic spells and physical attacks. For example, Morgoth's sleeping spell. Okay. Kind of would be a nice thing, don't you think? To have a friend during those times in Camelot where there still was magic, and, you know, to have a friend on your side that was really big and was immune to spells. How cool would that be? Yeah, you could maybe save yourself a lot of grief by having that particular person in your corner. Okay. Precognition. Capable of foreseeing the future and interpreting ancient prophecies. Also, very handy to have around if you happen to be Merlin. Okay. Telepathy. Kilgarrah can transmit thoughts into the minds of humans and communicate with other creatures from miles away. Also very handy skill, I would think. So, there you go. His one weakness, Dragon Lords. Despite his massive power, Kilgarrah is magically bound to obey the commands of a Dragon Lord, making him unable to resist their direct orders. Now, can you imagine how that could be abused if it was a terrible Dragon Lord? I mean, really. So, yeah. Okay. So now, here's the other reference material so that we can kind of get a little bit more involved in some of the stats. So, he is very large, a great dragon. He has lots of power, which was never discovered. He has scales, and he's an ancient dragon. And his name is Kilgarrah, which means the sacred. So now you know what that means. Kilgarrah is a large dragon which ruled the lands of Albion and Anliasia. This dragon was believed to have flown to Earth and was a mentor to a young warlock. You know who. Okay, appearance. Kilgarrah, also known as the Great Dragon, is a large and very old dragon. He has a large body protected by thick gold scales. Kilgarrah had 6 appendages, 2 arms, 2 legs, and 2 wings. His eyes were relatively small, but they were the key to success when hunting. Now, those of you who were in the Designer Dragon event, you probably remember this. If there's only 2 legs and then their wings, instead of dragons, what are they actually called? Do you guys remember? I'll let you think about that for a minute before I give away the answer. So yeah, if it's a 2-legged dragon instead of a 4-legged, what's it actually called? Okay. The skin of Kilgarrah's wings is thin and light, allowing him to fly effortlessly through the warm currents of air. Despite Kilgarrah's bulkiness, he can dodge mountains and obstacles quite easily. Kilgarrah is the largest known dragon, and also the fiercest, smartest, and strongest, with great knowledge of the prophecies, and is a creature of the old religion. Okay. The talons of Kilgarrah's fingers and toes are lethal and sharp, growing up to 30 centimeters. Oh, that's a pretty good size for talons. Kilgarrah's teeth are sharp and curved. He also possesses 4 large canine teeth. Okay. Let's see. Okay, size-wise. So, Kilgarrah is the largest of all dragons, growing up to 100 meters in length, 45 meters or 30 feet in height, and over 1,000 tons when reaching the age of maturity. Kilgarrah was featured in the British show Merlin and was a main character to some extent. Kilgarrah is a large dragon which roamed the lands of Albion and I can't pronounce that word. Anleasia, and after the Great Purge was rendered the last of his kind. Kilgarrah can blow blue flames and red flames easily, and animals can receive 3rd and 4th degree burns. Kilgarrah's agility is magnificent. He can dodge obstacles easily. He is also psychic. He can talk to creatures and humans and hear the call of a dragon lord from many miles away. Habitat. Kilgarrah lives in the rocky canyons and forests not far from the lands of the 5 kings, but also close enough to come at the call of a dragon lord, for which he must oblige. Kilgarrah is known to roam Albion's land and lives at the rocky crags and dense forests. Okay. Kilgarrah is part psychic, fire and magic type dragon. He uses all the elemental ability in hunting. He is currently 3 elements. He has said that he is very skilled in complicated magic and can withstand any attack. So that's the information we have on Kilgarrah. I think if you have not seen, the show Merlin, I highly recommend that you do it. It's a pretty good show. I enjoyed all of the seasons. I was a little annoyed at some of the parts. Like Aethusa, the hatching of Aethusa was a whole issue. But I think it's definitely worth seeing, for sure. So if you get an opportunity to do that, please go and do that, because I think you'll be glad that you did. Okay, now we're going to talk about Saphira. Okay. If you have not seen Eragon, Saphira is a beautiful blue dragon. Her blue eyes and her blue scales are, like sapphire, so it's just partly how she got her name. So, yes, so we're going to talk a little about her now. And again, if you haven't seen Eragon, easily, Eragon is on streaming. By this point, it's probably on Tubi. So I do recommend that you see that also. That's not a series, that's a one and done movie. So, yeah, when you want to just live in fantasy for a minute, it's a good one to see. Okay. Her full name is Saphira Brightscales. Saphira Brightscales is the fiercely loyal blue dragon from Christopher Paolini's inheritance cycle. So that's the name of the story that all lays out the whole thing. Like I said, I'm just going to give you a snippet, but if you want to read up about it, it's inheritance cycle is the entire story with Eragon and Saphira in it. Okay. As a primary companion to the dragon rider Eragon Shadeslayer, her combat prowess and physical stats grew tremendously throughout the series. Physical attributes and size. Okay. Species, Imperial Dragon, parentheses from Allegasia. Scale color, intense brilliant blue. Sire, which is her father, was Lormungar, and the dame, which is her mother, is Verveda. Her physical size started the size of a small house, ultimately reaching over 100 feet in length by the end of the series. Combat capabilities and magic. Okay. Attack potency. City block level when utilizing ancient dragon magic, capable of crushing small stone buildings with sheer mass. Breath weapon. Concentrated white-hot fire capable of melting solid rock. In the movie, she demonstrates this when she makes an enclosed type tomb for Braum out of rocks that Eragon had collected to kind of cover his grave. Yeah, she made it something much, much better, much more beautiful, as an honor tribute to Braum. So that's part of that. Speed. Subsonic in flight, praised by the elves as the most naturally aerodynamic and agile dragon in the sky. Her magical defenses. She can utilize mind protection spells, wards, and telepathy with her rider. Her mate is Firnen, that's Firnen. So now we'll get into it a little bit more. Now I'll show you, hang on one second guys. I will show you a picture of the book picture. I think really the picture of her in the movie was better, but this is how, because this is kind of dull, but this is how she's portrayed in the book. So that's Saphira. Okay. All right, so her full name is Saphira Brightscales. Her origin is from the Inheritance series. She is the partner of Eragon. Her powers and skills are Fire Breath, Fangs and Claw, Magic Infusion, and Flight. Her occupation, she's the partner of Eragon. Her hobby is spending time with Eragon. Her goals are to save the world and save her race. Her family, her distant relatives are Belgabad, it's a maternal distant ancestor, and Rogmar the Black. Again, her father is Lormungar, and her mother is Verveda. Her mate is Firnen, and she has an unknown number of siblings. Her friends and allies are Eragon and Braum. Her enemy is King Galbatorix, and she's the type of hero is global protection. So that's all of her stats. Okay. So here we go. Saphira Brightscales. In the ancient language, it was Bartskular. Was a female blue dragon bound to Eragon. Saphira is the main dragon protagonist in the Inheritance series. Eragon found her egg in the spine, the spine is another name for the wooded area. In the spine while hunting a deer after it was transported there by Arya, the elf princess, to keep her safe from Galbatorix's forces. A few days later, Saphira hatched for Eragon. Afterwards, the duo joined the Varden to take down Galbatorix. The Varden is like the Jedi, for all intents and purposes. Okay. In the movies of Eragon, she is voiced by Rachel Weisz, who also portrayed Evelyn Carnahan O'Connell in The Mummy and The Mummy Returns. Her appearance. Okay. Saphira's scales and eyes were the color of sapphires, often described in the book as intense blue that refracted the light. The radiating blue tone of her scales resulted in the nickname given to her by the elves, Saphira Brightscales. Her color, as described in the book, differed in the movie where she appeared a rather dull blue. Her vision was enhanced, for she was able to see blues more clearly and vibrantly than reds and greens. Her talons and spikes on her neck, back, as well as tail were bone white. She had 2 serrated fangs that jutted out of her upper jaw onto her bottom lip slightly, as well as with all dragons, that had white, sharp, knife-like, meat-shearing teeth. Her head was roughly triangular, and she also possessed 4 cheek spines, slightly curved horns, and forehead spines between her horns. Her body stature could be inferred as very aerodynamic and built for flying. And in Eldest, Oromus said that he had never seen a dragon so skilled at flying and naturally suited to the sky. Despite her young age, she is one of the strongest dragons ever seen. She was named Saphira after Eragon went to Brahmed for names of past dragons. It was the only one that Saphira liked, being that Eragon presented her with mostly male names. Eragon and Saphira later found out that it was also the name of Brahm's own dragon. Though Saphira was young, she was very wise and often comforted and guided Eragon, as well as sometimes others, when they were upset or needed advice. Saphira was very proud, and it has been mentioned that she had never bowed to anyone except Islanzadi and several dwarves while drunk. She also felt she was bending her pride slightly by calling Oromus and Gladir master. Saphira was quite vain, thinking herself the most beautiful and magnificent creature in the world. While in Elsmera, Saphira submitted to Gladir, and after he refused to mate with her, she attacked him, injuring both of them and becoming depressed. Eragon found her huddled up in a cave on the Stone of Broken Eggs, upset because she thought Gladir didn't find her comely enough. Saphira would not hesitate to give people her blunt opinion, and even threatened Ajihad by telling him that if he had tried to kill Eragon, she would have destroyed Farthendur and torn him apart. Saphira also enjoyed fighting, but claimed that it was a good thing that Eragon didn't share her taste of fighting, as they balanced each other out. In battle, let's see. In battle, she was ferocious, and Eragon once told her that he was very glad they weren't enemies. It's likely that her ferocity came from her mother. As Eragon's dragon, Saphira had a deep emotional bond with him. As such, she would do anything to keep him alive. As a result, she went with him in most ventures, though not always agreeing with them. Her main goal was to keep Eragon safe, even stating that should Eragon be captured, she would go so far as to give herself up to Galbatorix, dooming Algasia just to save Eragon. She was very protective of him and always looked out for his needs. In addition, Saphira's bond to Eragon was so strong that it could go to the point where sometimes Eragon and Saphira consider themselves as not as 2 beings, but one. Saphira often calls her rider Little One to show affection. Somebody should have asked Eragon, how does he feel about being called Little One by this big dragon? I don't know. It's interesting. In Breisinger, Saphira and Eragon's bond was developed to a point where they were able to finish each other's sentences and to be able to anticipate what each other would say. Most of the time, they did this without even realizing it. Saphira was the only bonded egg given to the riders from the mating of Lormungur, a male dragon, bound to a dragon rider, as well as Vervada, a wild female dragon. Both dragons perished during the fall of the dragon riders. Saphira's sapphire blue colored egg, along with 2 others, an emerald green and a ruby red, were found and taken by Galbatorix during the fall. Galbatorix tried desperately to find a rider for whom the eggs would hatch, but was unsuccessful. None of the dragons responded to the touch of anyone in the Brodring Empire. Dragons stay in their eggs until the rider they are bonded with comes into their vicinity. Then they hatch for them. Later in Galbatorix's reign, a former writer known as Brom and a scholar named Geode discovered a secret entrance into Urobane. The Varden appointed a thief, Hefring, to steal the eggs. However, he only took one egg, Saphira's egg, and he kept it, all the while running from Brom. The egg was later taken from him by Morzon, who might have slain Hefring. Brom eventually tracked down and killed Morzon and Morzon's dragon, thus recovering the egg for the Varden. The egg was then transported back and forth from the Varden to the kingdom of the elves, Du Welden Varden, in the hope that the dragon would eventually hatch. The egg courier was Arya, daughter of Islanzadi, the elf queen. Unfortunately, the egg didn't hatch. After 15 years, Galbatorix sent the Shade Durza to ambush Arya. Arya was captured and her 2 companions murdered, but not before she successfully teleported the egg towards Carvahall, where she hoped it would reach Brom. However, the Eldunari in the Vault of Souls, which is in Doro Areba, changed the flow of magic so that Saphira's egg would appear to Eragon instead. The dragons thought that Saphira might hatch for Eragon, and they were growing restless, waiting for Galbatorix to be overthrown. Before they reached Rorengard, they thought that Arya had accidentally sent her to Eragon, as they were very similar in character. The egg was found by Eragon while he was hunting in the mysterious mountain range known as the Spine. Eragon first mistook it for a blue stone of great value and tried to sell it to the merchants traveling to Carvahall. A few days later, Saphira hatched for him. When Eragon touched the newborn dragon, his right palm burned suddenly and sent an icy feeling throughout him. This gave him the Gateway Ignacia, the mark of a dragon rider. Their minds were linked mentally, and almost immediately they were able to communicate with images and feelings. Saphira was raised by Eragon, hidden from the Carvahall villagers. Eragon mostly fed her with meat. When Brom, the storyteller, discovered Eragon's Gateway Ignacia, he knew that Eragon was a writer. So he confronted Eragon and convinced him that he could help him. Brom gained Saphira's trust quickly. They became close friends, and Brom was the second person Saphira trusted the most. Brom had made a dragon saddle out of leather for Eragon to be able to ride on Saphira, which had to have been a relief for both of them, let's face it. Okay. Let's see here. Hang on. Okay. Oops. There we go. Stuck in Durza's trap, Eragon tried to make his way out of it. It was Murtagh that Eragon and Saphira that saved Eragon and Saphira. Murtagh claims to be following them by curiosity. Eragon decides that they can trust Murtagh, and they continue their journey. Eragon, Saphira, Murtagh, and Brom. Later, while fighting the Razak, a dagger was flying towards Eragon. To protect Eragon, Brom ran in front of it and sacrificed himself for Eragon's life. The dagger pierced Brom, that caused Brom to die a night later, despite Eragon's wards and Murtagh's effects and efforts to save him. Eragon made a gravestone for Brom and buried him. When Saphira and Eragon were alone with the grave, somehow she transformed the grave into diamond without knowing how. So Eragon enchanted the grave. That way no thief would try to break it nor take it. Saphira and Eragon's bond grew stronger with time as they escaped from Carvahall with Brom to hunt the Razak for vengeance after the murder of Garrow, Eragon's uncle. Later, with Murtagh's help, Saphira rescued Eragon from an imperial prison in Gilead. Eragon found the elf who was really Arya, whom he had seen in his sleep. They fled to the Beor Mountains in search of the Varden. After a long journey through the Hadaric Desert and being chased by the Urgals, known as Kull, They arrived at Farthendur, capital of the dwarves and hiding place of the Varden. There, Saphira and Eragon met Ajahad, leader of the Varden, who offered them shelter from the broadening empire. Soon, a legion of Urgals under Durza's command attacked Farthendur. After a long battle, the Varden were victorious. Saphira's armor was damaged, but Arya fixed it, and they blew apart a massive sapphire, distracting the shade Durza and allowing Eragon to kill him with the sword Zarak. Saphira and Eragon traveled to Do Weldenvarden to continue their training. Because of the guilt the elves felt due to the fall of the dragon riders, Saphira was treasured among the elves. She and Eragon were there taught by Gladir, a surviving dragon, and his rider Oramus, known as the Morning Sage and the Cripple Who is Whole. Saphira hoped Gladir would fall in love with her and they would reproduce and therefore revive the race of dragons, but this never happened. Saphira had never seen another dragon like her, and that was why she was attracted to Gladir. Some of the elves were spiteful and mean. For example, the pretentious fighter Vanir. They said they thought a man, not a boy, would save them. So, that is the story of Saphira. So, if you want to continue to read that, check out the Inheritance series. You can read all about them. Those of you who enjoy, fantasy novels. So, what were your thoughts about, let me know in the comment section, what were your thoughts about both Kilgarrah and Saphira? If you had your choice, which one would you like to take up as your dragon that you would be the dragon rider for? Also, if you could have your own dragon, what color dragon would you like to have? And what special skill would you like them to have? Let's say you can have 2 special skills that your dragon would get to have. What would you select? So, yes, I think it's very interesting, the author's bond that they want the dragons and the dragon riders to have. It's kind of amazing. And even the writer of the Merlin series, they wanted Kilgarrah to not be able to deny whatever a dragon rider asked him to do. So that's also interesting to me, because essentially, here's this great, amazing dragon, this amazing beast, and he's got all these powers, telepathy, prophecy, and all these things. And yet, if a dragon rider tells him to do something, he has to do it, which could get him into all kinds of trouble if we're talking somebody whose, thoughts are evil instead of good, right? So, I don't know. I have mixed feelings about his inability to do anything about it other than obey a dragon rider, because we all know they're supposed to be people of good character. Well, doesn't mean that that's what happens all the time. So, it's an interesting way of handling it. So, there you go. All right, so what else is going on in the world? Like I said, it was a little bit of a crazy week. I mean, we had an appointment every day except yesterday. Friday was the only day this week that we did not have an appointment. So things were just a little bit crazy. Had to kind of do a lot of driving, which wasn't good, because I don't know what your gasoline is. Ours is $5.15 a gallon, and I'm sure it's going to go up from there. So, yeah, not fun. So, a little bit frustrated with that whole situation, but we got everything finished that we were supposed to do, so that was an important thing. I mean, it was an important week. It just was, complicated and long and frustrating and, all that kind of stuff. I just hate those kind of weeks. It's like, I don't mind having appointments, but if I could just spread them out so that they're not, every day of a given week, like, come on. Now, this coming week is supposed to be much better. So let's hope that that's what it turns out to be, because sometimes things come out of the woodwork, as you know, those things happen. So far they haven't, knock on wood, but yep, last week was intense. So what are you guys up to? You guys going any place for the remainder of the summer? Have you already done your travel, so you're getting ready to settle in for the end of fall, or what's going on? Because you know, before long, we're going to have to start talking about the holidays. I know it's crazy how fast things are going. I just don't understand it. I mean, you know, all the stores already have their fall stuff out, and I'm just going, oh my God, it's 95 degrees and it's the middle of July, but we got to talk about Halloween. I can't do it. So, yeah, I feel like they're trying to rush the year all the time, which frustrates me, because can we just please deal with one season at a time? Because it's a lot trying to keep up with all of that. Because they put everything out now, so if you don't get stuff now that you think you're going to want for fall, then when fall rolls around, it's already picked over and gone, which is, again, really frustrating. So you're never caught up, right? You're always trying to get whatever it is you need, and it's like, really? Surely there's a better way than this to figure this out. So, anyhow, that's my rant for the day. So, anybody have birthdays coming up? If so, if you have a birthday in July or August, let me know. Leave it in the comments so we know. That's in preparation for our Zodiac month. You know, since we're going to be talking about the Zodiac, we probably need to just do a quick check and see who's who. You know? So let me know that, and also in the comment section. What else have you guys been up to? I'm just trying to keep up with the year that's just running. It's just crazy to me how fast it goes. And I know that it's going to be an extra big struggle, and I'm very frustrated by the fact it's going to be an extra struggle for my kids to be able to come and my grandkids to be able to come for the holiday, for Christmas. And I'm very frustrated with that, because not only has it been a minute since we've had a holiday together. I mean, they were here for Jared's birthday in March, which was wonderful. But we haven't had a Christmas or a Thanksgiving together in close to 10 years. So, you know, it really means a lot that they could come. I mean, you know, our lives, what our normal is, has been very, very different in the last couple of years. And so I really need a chance for them to not only visualize it, because they still think, you know, because, you know, we have forever, because, you know, it's fine. Everybody's fine. Everybody's going to be fine. Everything's fine. I have to remind them that, you know, nobody's promised tomorrow. Nowhere are you going to find that written. It's not a thing. So you have to prioritize the people that you want to see while you can still see them. Let that be a lesson to everybody. I would love to have my parents for one more Christmas. I really would. If I could just pull them here for one more holiday, that would be all I would need. But as you know, we don't all get to do that. So I had to let my kids know that, listen, there is going to come a time when you're going to wish that you had somewhere to go to, you can be with your parents. Their dad, not last year, but the year before, so late 2023 or early 2024, was diagnosed. He's in his late 50s. I mean, we were born the same year. He was born in January. I was born in December, but of the same year. He was diagnosed with diastolic heart failure. So his normal has changed a lot too. And he has no choice but to keep it up, because he's married to a nurse. So, you know, I reminded them that, you know, your parents aren't spring chickens. So you have to think about what that is going to mean, and, you know, understand that you don't get to choose how long somebody's around. So I know they desperately want to come out, but, you know, now is when prices are out of control. Thanks a lot, administration. You know, my older son, because he has to come the furthest, because he's in Florida, so we're in California. So he used to take Spirit Airlines because that was the one that had the best availability for him and the two boys to come. Because my oldest grandson, his oldest is, it's just Caden. Caden is 9, and his youngest, little Lucas, is now 3.5. So he turns 4 2 days before my birthday. So he can't, fly them as infants, right? They have to have an actual seat. So he has to get 3 tickets. And now that Spirit Airlines is not really around, I mean, we've been checking the other airlines. I mean, it's just so out of control. I mean, $1,500 for him, and my other son who's in Texas, it's $1,400 for him and his wife and their 2 kids. I mean, they make it impossible for families to get to do anything or see each other, and it is so frustrating to me. We really wanted to get a mobile home, or not a mobile home, but an RV, a motor home, so that we could, make a real journey out of it. But prices on those have gone through the roof too. So that doesn't look like that's going to happen. So yeah, we're just really on a wing and a prayer here, because they really want to come out. I really, really want them to come out. So we're just trying to figure it out. I mean, any way that we can get a better deal on airlines. If any of you guys know, if any of you guys are frequent flyers, tell us the secret. What is it that we need to do to get workable flights? We're already doing the comparison. We're already on wait lists for, last minute seats. So, I mean, all of that's already being done, but it's just crazy. It's absolutely crazy to me. But I told him that, this was going to be the last year that we were going to be able to host, because it's too much on us at this point. So we're going to have to figure out something else for Christmas. So who knows? This might be the last year we get together. So that's a distinct possibility. Especially since I have such a foreboding feeling about it, you guys. I have not told them that. Because they know when I have those kind of feelings, something usually comes out of it. And so I don't want them to know that I'm feeling that way. I'm just telling them, you need to come out this year. You need to do literally every possible human thing that you can, so that we can all be together this year. My brother has agreed, because we're having it early, so that, plans with the other side of the families aren't impacted at all. So, we're going to have ours the week before Christmas, which is good, because I don't remember the last time they were here for my birthday. So that would be really cool. But, even at that, it's crazy time of year. So, yeah, we're all kind of stressing out, because we really want to be together. Everybody's struggling to get by. Prices continue to go up. Gas, food, everything is out of control. And so, families like ours are the ones that get stuck in the rails, right? So we never get to be able to follow through and have our holiday together. So, even my brother, who usually isn't around, I mean, they usually travel, and I think they're going to be traveling again for actual Christmas Day type time, but because we're having our celebration early, they're planning to come as well. I don't think I've had Christmas with my brother for quite some time. And so, and they're looking forward to seeing the boys, because my sister-in-law's mother just passed away last month. And so, or her memorial was last month. I think she passed, I want to say in May. So, she and her father had passed many years ago. So neither one of them have parents anymore. And so, that, they're kind of free to do, whatever they want. They don't have to come and see anybody or, make a party for anybody. So they usually travel, but they're going to be here because it's a week before Christmas. So they're going to come too, which will be great, because I think seeing the boys and seeing their kids would be really good for them, to see the next generation coming up through the ranks, and get to enjoy that, and be together since my brother and I are the only siblings we have. You know, our parents didn't have any other children before, during, or after their marriage, which was forever. So we're the only offspring. So I think it would be a really nice thing if we could all get together. But, you know, short of a magic wand, I just don't know. I don't know how we're gonna make that happen. I'm bound and determined, but again, I don't know how to make that happen in any, you know, less traumatic way. So struggling with that. So yeah, that's in flux for right now, what the holidays are going to look like. That's, yeah, nothing really new. I mean, we're just getting by. I mean, Neil's having his treatment every 2 weeks. I had to get literally three new providers, and a fourth one moved to another county. I mean, I'm still going with her because I can, because I have, you know, TRICARE, so I can go to whomever. So I followed her to the next county, but it's a much longer time frame, about a half a day now instead of just a couple hours. So followed her, but literally my ophthalmologist, my pulmonologist, and my rheumatologist all left. So yeah, now I have to find 3 new ones. So just trying to find them, and, you know, finding them, take new patients, and then fighting with the people who have my records to just send them. That's been a thing, and trying to get new appointments, and everybody's out 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 months. Ugh. I am so disgusted with what's happened to healthcare. It's really bad. You know, and it would be at the time when I'm going to actually start needing healthcare, right? Like, it couldn't have been any other time when, you know, I could have waited a year, it wouldn't have mattered. No, I have to seek these people out. And it's like, it's one of the things I like the least. So that makes it a little traumatizing. But what can you do? I've selected them. I'm trying to get appointments on the books. Problem is, you know, this new policy thing, this crap that they're all doing now, where you can't make an appointment unless they've already received your records. Really? Because that's a bunch of crap. So, you know, that gets you stuck in a cycle for, weeks to months already. Just trying to get that squared away. I guess there's no such thing as a consultation anymore, because maybe I don't want you to have my records. If we, you know, have an appointment and I don't like you, I'm going to leave, and then you don't need my records. You know, I mean, that's just the reality of it. But apparently nobody thought about that. So yeah, it's just really so annoying. And honestly, half of these physicians, I don't know if they know what their staff is doing most of the time. For sure, my old pulmonologist had no idea what his staff was doing. I mean, they were an utter mess, and they had him convinced that they were wonderful. So, yeah, that's been a lot, and not fun in any way, shape, or form. So, yeah, that's been going on. Trying to keep everybody's stuff together, and keep making sure Jared has what he needs, keep making sure Neil has what he needs, getting on the bills figured out, and trying to figure out where we can skimp even tighter, because, you know, trying to have enough to go around when you're on a fixed income and the prices keep going up, it becomes a little bit creative that you have to be, because, you know, you can't make more money or get overtime or anything when you don't have wages anymore, and you have to live on what you put in up to now. So, yeah, it's a lot. No question about it. And, you know, we do. I mean, living in Southern California is very expensive. We are taxed to death. And so, I mean, it has a lot of perks. Don't get me wrong. I love California. I'm a native Californian. I would stay in California forever. Now, will I be able to do that? That I don't know. If I had the ability to, I definitely would. But it's very expensive to live here. So, that being said, You know, it takes everything really that we make because, yeah, fixed incomes don't change. You know, and the pennies that you get for, you know, cost of living increases each year are more than offset by the amount that your Medicare premium goes up. And I kid you not, if they say, hey, it's going to be 2.8%, and you go, oh, okay, great, that's an extra $40. Okay, your Medicare premium will go up 45, and I'm not kidding. It does that every year, and I'm sure it's on purpose. So there's really no increase, people. They lie to you, so don't believe it when they say that, because there's really not an increase. So, that's always challenging because the prices are 100% going up, as I'm sure all of you have discovered. So, yeah, it's no end to the fun. So, yeah, it gets really tiresome and really frustrating and really fed up because it did not need to be this way. And here we are. I hope some people have learned a few things because honestly, this was some crap. Really, it was. So, anyhow, so yeah, there's been a lot of mental shuffling we've had to do. There's been a lot of discussion on what we've had to do. If we're not going to pay this month and we have to pay it twice next month, then what are we going to take out of next month? Budgets are fun, right? So that's kind of been, you know, when we're not running around all week long, we've been dealing with, okay, what are we going to do about this bill? What are we going to do about that bill? So, yeah, that's been our life. So it's been kind of crazy. Didn't leave a lot of time for diamond painting because, you know, life gets in the way of diamond painting. It's very frustrating, but it does do that. So that's all that's really been happening over here. I mean, you know, I don't know what else you guys are doing. You know, let me know in the comments section. What have you guys been up to? If you had stuff you've had to deal with that's been a pain in your behind, because if you have, then you are my people. Yeah. So yeah, keep us posted. All right, Dragonites. Hopefully you've looked at the sneak peek of the prizes that are going to be coming your way. We're going to draw for those prizes on next Friday at our last Whip and Chat of the event. Now, I'm hoping that the pen and cover minders are going to be here so that I can just, you know, call the names, pack them in and go. Otherwise, I'm just going to have to hold it till they get here, but they are en route. So any luck and it'll be fine. Now, if you are a winner, don't forget, if you are the second place winner and you're getting the coaster set, please let me know if you want the cork to go with that. I will make sure to add it into the package. And so be thinking about what you would like to do, whether you would like to continue to have prizes or you just want to stick with gift cards. We're going to try gift cards next month to see how it goes, and then we'll decide as a group how we want to go about it. I'm happy to continue to provide prizes if you are willing to help with postage. So I'm going to leave it up to you, Dragonites, how you want to handle it. Remember to please get me your final pictures, either your finishes or as close to finished as you're going to get by the 30th, so I can spend the 31st working on the final WIP parade to add to the wrap-up event for this event, because I have to wrap this one up and get the kickoff video going for Zodiac. Please get signed up for Zodiac. Don't forget, if your name was not on the list and you would like to participate, please let me know. Send me a pic and let me know who you are and what it is you want to do. We would love to have you join us. So if you haven't, anything that's a 30 by 30 or larger, if you're going to do a mini set, you can do that too and try to work to get the whole set done. You're welcome to do that. So, you know, let me know and I will be happy to jot you down. Other than that, you know, try to stay out of this awful heat, you guys. Let's hope autumn is around the corner, because I don't know, the way July's going, I'm a little worried about August, but you know, hang in there, everybody. We're going to get this figured out. All right, Dragonites, thank you for joining me. I've talked your ear off for an entire hour now. And also, if you think about it, don't forget to give me some feedback on your thoughts on on events. Are you burned out on events? Is that what's going on? I'm just wondering what the decrease is and if it's kind of an organic decrease, or if there's something that should be done differently, or, you know, what the situation is. So let me know. And have a wonderful rest of your weekend, Dragonites. It's wonderful to see you. Let your inner dragon be the peace that the world's chaos needs now the most. If somebody you know is having a strong, really hard, difficult time, use your inner dragon and give them some peace. Give them a hug. Ask them, if you're going to the store, is there anything I can pick up for you? Do you just want to sit and talk over a cup of coffee? You know, you'd be surprised the magic your inner dragon can do. This world needs your light, you guys. So keep up the good work. And I hope that your week is going to be better than mine was last week. And remember, always be a dragon. Spread your wings. If somebody is trying to get in your way, knock them out of the way with your wings. Protect those you love. This one can be challenging nowadays, but you got to do it. Protect the ones you love. Have fiery passion. Complacency is the death of passion. Stay strong. Slay your fears. And always fly high, rise up, and soar. Okay, Dragonites, thank you for hanging with me. Have a wonderful weekend. Big hugs to everybody, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.